Hey, we are back. Hey. This is the No I Don't Know TV series, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We are black and we are back. Shout out to everybody that's at the corporate plantation right now. Back-to-back podcast days. Shout out to everybody that's not fortunate enough to work, but is fortunate enough to still eat. Hey, shout out to everybody that's out there handling their business. Shout out to everybody that's not handling their business, because you need them in there to balance the things out. Hey, as above, so below. Go get that Kabbalion book. Shout out to all my bitches that's out there just putting they pussy holes on Amazon.com. You gotta give them credit. Hey. Shout out to everybody that's out there trying to make it through the day. Shout out to my niggas that when they get up and have to go to work in the morning, they be pissed. Shout out to all my niggas that's more worried about if we gonna be able to watch the Raiders play than worried about if they gonna be here to see the Raiders play with this goddamn COVID-19. Hey. Shout out to all my niggas that's on this health cleanse, this health kick right now. As you can see right now, I got this sea moss shake with almond milk and blueberries. Hey, because I don't drink no cow's milk. If I ain't drinking no milk, if I ain't sucking a bitch's titties and getting no milk out of some bitch's titties, I ain't drinking no cow milk. Facts. So get you some sea moss in your life. Hey. Shout out to all my niggas that taking your vitamins and your herbs and drinking your teas and your lemon water and your shit like this. Shout out to everybody that's out there. Shout out to my niggas that's still at McDonald's thinking ain't shit gonna fuck with them. Shout out to all my niggas that's out there right now, man. Hey, I'm your boy Warren G. Been clowning sucker free since 2003. Hey. Man, shout out to all my niggas that's still trying to fuck a bitch and you know this bitch has been coughing and spitting up loogies and phlegm and shitting all over the place and you still like, what that mouth do though? Shout out to all my niggas that's doing that. I ain't mad at it. Man, look, niggas right now, it's probably like, shit, I'm about to go hit up this one bitch house. She saying she had COVID-19, but shit, nigga trying to still fuck though. So, shout out to all them niggas that's out there like that. Hey. Turn this shit down. Man, what is going on? There's a lot of shit going on. That's why I hit you up with a back-to-back. I'm looking. See, we got to start paying attention. That's why the title is The Art of Deception. Shit, I probably spelled deception wrong. Trying to hear it, but do. Hey, what's going on, Tamisha? My bad. I was looking at this other screen. I would not talk so much this time. Man, say whatever you want. Hey, the only look. I know you got, look, first of all, my phone like 5-6 years old. I'm gonna tell you right now, I gotta get another phone. This motherfucker don't wanna charge. You know, it's just all these problems. You know how they program these phones. So when you email me to respond back, I have to rotate my screen, and my screen don't even rotate. That's how fucked up my phone is. And nigga, I can't go to no stores. I don't fuck with Sprint like that. I usually go clown ass Best Buy. I get a better deal there. And shit, now you can't even go on Best Buy and look what type of phone you want. So it's all bad. So that's why I'm responding, man. Say as much as you want, man. Fuck that. Hey, like I told you before, Tommy, I like that it's like this. I don't really want too many people on here because I want them motherfuckers taking down my podcast like they did that one. That was a good podcast too, but I know somebody complained on my ass because I was going hard that one. So that's why I'm like, man, don't trip. Say whatever you want. Okay, yeah, I got bootleg mirror. That was the word in the 90s. Oh, you got some bootleg shit. But anyway, man, the art of deception. Let me tell you something. Let's just start off with this. I was reading about what is this? What's the girl's name? The girl, the rapper that died. I forgot her name. China Rogers. She had a drug overdose. That's why I said the art of deception. See, they're gonna really be pushing these pharmaceuticals. They're gonna really be pushing native black people to go do shit that we normally don't do. That's why I got love for Magic Johnson as far as a basketball player, but Magic, you're being used for evil, in my personal opinion. I'm not telling people not to go get your little test for your COVID-19, but y'all need to understand the same people that's running these tests, the same people that giving y'all this shit. Facts. Then you got the one motherfucker from France that I talked about last night who was like, oh yeah, we're gonna test out the vaccination in Africa. What the fuck you mean you gonna test out the vaccination in Africa? Then he had to try to reel it back in. Then another nigga came out and was like, oh, I'm very disappointed. So now you look on everything, oh, now black people are more at risk of getting it. How is it black people are more at risk of getting it when they shut down Europe, shut down Italy? Those are European countries. That's where we can't fly. You can book your flight to Egypt right now. You can book your flight to ancient Kemet right now and go see those pyramids. Africa ain't having these problems. No, it's these European countries and these motherfuckers out here in the United States of America Incorporated who wants to push this false narrative that, oh, then you got Magic Johnson. See, that's what happens when we're not educated. See, to me, Magic should just be like, nah, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna do that. Nah. I'm not finna go in there and tell, nope, I'm good. I'll just stick to the basketball shit. Because what they'll do is, the dominant society will use a motherfucker, they'll use a motherfucker who's a black celebrity, and they'll use that motherfucker to speak their talking points. And the reason why, because I'm looking at this shit, I'm looking at it. The article says, Magic Johnson calls for racial equality and equal access to health care. Former Los Angeles Laker player and NBA Hall of Fame point guard Magic Johnson joined CNN Coronavirus Town Hall to talk about his experience living through two major outbreaks, the HIV epidemic and now this pandemic, on racial inequality during pandemic. When you think about African Americans, we deal with a lot of health issues already, and then the lack of access to health care. Now, I do agree with that. That's just an unbeatable combination, and so we must get better, he said. Change must begin at local level, then at a state level. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. I just don't like the fact that they'll go out and use, first of all, there was no HIV epidemic. And the reason why I would say that is because if you read behold the pale horse, it clearly states that the World Health Organization, along with the CDC, was giving black men the HIV virus in a cloak of the smallpox vaccination or whatever the fuck they wanted to call it, and giving it to motherfuckers, and then giving it to white, moist men, and then told everybody it came from a monkey, then it came from Africa. So why would I trust the CDC? CDC, I'm gonna look up that dude that worked for the CDC who whistleblowed on them about the flu vaccination, and he came up dead 2 weeks later. I'm about to look at him right now after we listen to this. I'm gonna try to play this and see if he play. Cause you know they be promoting and playing bullshit on here too.
When you think about, first of all, African Americans, we deal with a lot of health issues already. So we talked about HIV and AIDS, but obesity, when you think about diabetes, high blood pressure. So all these things we already deal with, and then you add coronavirus on top of that.
Okay, now I do agree, high blood pressure, diabetes, but we're talking to the same people that have a goddamn Taco Bell, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Murder King, Taco Hell, McDevils. You know, you got all these places right within walking vicinity of all the poor and disenfranchised native black neighborhoods. Where else are they gonna go? There ain't no Whole Foods on the west side, and there ain't no Trader Joe's on the west side. And it's like that in LA too.
That's a tough situation for most African Americans and minorities, period.
And you're right, okay, minorities, period, but we gotta look at who is commissioning them and allowing them to have a Taco Hell, Murder King, McDevils. Who's allowing them to be in these neighborhoods? Why are they not putting healthy foods in these neighborhoods? They have the power to do that. You know why? Because it's cheaper to produce mass production and Agenda 21. We're going to feed you the shit that's probably going to kill you. And then we'll put a CVS or a Walgreens right next to those Murder King and Taco. If you live on the west side of Las Vegas, or if you're familiar with the west side of Las Vegas, they got a Taco Hell and a McDevils and a Starbucks, Star Crooks. They got all these fast food places right there, a Panda, No Express, all this on the west side of Las Vegas. And then guess what they got across the street from them? A CVS for the pharmacy that you'll be needing to go to with the high blood pressure and the diabetes.
And then the lack of access to health care, that's just an unbeatable combination. And so we must get better. Hopefully there'll be affordable health care for all people, not just minorities, but for everybody. And
that's where, hold on, Magic. Now, this is where I'll be kind of looking at, if fuck everybody else. As Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us in Black Labor, White Wealth, we stop carrying everybody else's groceries. Let's just focus on native black people right now. We have been disenfranchised, Jim Crowed, murdered, slain, all these different things that done happened to us for 450 years. We built this country. I don't have time to be talking about no other minorities but native blacks right now. I'm sorry. We built the country. I can't go to China or Mexico. If I go to Mexico, you think they're going to allow me to sit on El Chapo's jury? No, they're not. They're going to put some goddamn native Mexicans to sit on that jury.
If the prices can come down, then I think you're going to see African Americans be a lot healthier.
You know, there's another thing too to add into that mix, Magic, which is that
that's Sanjay Gupta. That's the nigga that was the Indian or whatever, wherever the fuck he's from, that was in Contagion, the movie. He was in that movie about pandemics, and now he's everywhere.
A disproportionate number of frontline workers, people in food service, logistics, transportation, whatever it might be, are also African American. They are more at risk. They do their jobs, they're more at risk. So what, and I mean, that's not something that's likely to change soon. What would be your message then to make sure these structural inequalities that Anderson's talking about, don't continue with this particular pandemic?
Well, first of all, those jobs are there, especially if you haven't gotten a good education. That's really been our problem. And
yeah, and you're right. That's been our problem. And see, you notice how on CNN they'll bring an athlete or a person that's not well versed on these situations, and they're not able to articulate themselves in such a way where they could speak the same lingo as the people on CNN. So they'll bring a Magic on, they'll bring somebody else that's on. I'm not no diss to Magic Johnson, but he's not as articulate as, that will say, a David Banner or someone that's actually could take what you're saying, translate it, and be very articulate in how the response will become. That's why they will have, in my opinion, a Magic Johnson on CNN talking about healthcare and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying?
so we have those jobs. We're hardworking people. We want to take care of our family. But at the same time, we understand that the hospitality sector, the restaurant sector, is driven a lot by minorities and especially African Americans. And that's why the unemployment number, you think about 17 million Americans are unemployed now. A lot of them are African Americans because they are in those sectors. But I don't want, we can't just say it's because they're in those sectors. We as African Americans, we got to do a better job. And then we got to make sure.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't go on national TV and talk about what black people got to do a better job. See, that's buck dancing. Come on, Magic. Now, I got love for you, Magic. You're the greatest Laker of all times. I got love for Kobe, but Magic is my greatest Laker of all times. Come on, Magic, man. We can't be talking about we got to do better than all this. No, let's shift the blame on the dominant society. No, they got to do better by making sure that Native blacks have free health care, that Native blacks get their reparations, their land wealth, and their resources that are owed and due to us for the 450 years of free fucking labor and Jim Crow, redlining, gentrification, lynching. Need I go on? See, nobody wants to talk about this. We don't want to talk about the etymology of it. We just want to talk about what we got to do better. You notice, y'all need to listen. Don't ever let nobody take the responsibility away from the dominant society and put it on black people.
Our kids can educate themselves so they can have jobs in other sectors, so we won't be talking about this hopefully in the next 5 years.
I was talking to some people about this today. One of the things I think this pandemic has done is...
That's Anderson Cooper, by the way, the descendant of Cornelius Vanderbilt, where Jerry Stackhouse coaches. Yeah, Vanderbilt. Y'all probably like Vanderbilt. Yeah, Vanderbilt. That's Anderson Cooper's great-great-granddaddy. Yeah, Cornelius Vanderbilt.
It shows inequality that exists in society. It's like an X-ray that pre-existing problems in the society, it magnifies them and it brings them more to the light. These racial disparities, homelessness, things like that.
Right.
But it also is, it's an extraordinary opportunity to start to see each other differently. The idea of...
See, you notice they just took the whole situation, took it off of what really needs to be spoken about. Now you talking about some other shit. Now you just taking us on a goddamn windy-ass roller coaster. See, that's why you got to be very mindful when you watching shit like CNN and all this other shit. You just got to really listen to what they say, because to me, Anderson Cooper, you ain't talking about shit. Your points, you're not even making a point. And when it touches on systemic racism, y'all need to understand that what Magic Johnson's talking about, how we don't have health care, this ain't nothing new. You're talking to dominant society people. They know what the fuck is going on. You would have to live under a rock in Mars not to know what the fuck is going on. They know. That's called white fragility.
Who's important in our society? We think it's celebrities. We think it's, people make a lot of money. But right now, all those celebrities and all those people make a lot of money. We're all depending on people who are not making money, who are delivering boxes of goods, who are working in an Amazon fulfillment center, who are driving the bus, who are saving our lives because they're keeping this entire system going. If it wasn't for truck drivers, UPS delivery folks, these are the people who they don't get a lot of acknowledgement in regular times, and things are now flipped, so they are keeping us alive.
No. They are keeping the poor and disenfranchised people alive. Wealthy people like you, Anderson Cooper and Sanjay Gupta and all you other dominant society motherfuckers, y'all know what the fuck is going on. Y'all are privy to a lot of this knowledge years before it even gets to the masses of people, a.k.a. the commoner, the deaf, dumb, and
Yes,
blind.
they are, and so we got to thank them. Look, I employ a lot of those people, and I want to thank them right now because right now, people who work for me are in hospitals right now. I can tell you in New Jersey, in Newark, New Beth, Israel, my team is working almost around the clock to feed the doctors, the nurses, and also all the other patients, not just the coronavirus patients, but all the other patients who are also at that hospital and have dietary needs, special meals to keep them going. So I want to thank them. And then I have also a team of people who work in the school system, because in those same neighborhoods that we're talking about, we're feeding those school children twice a day meals so that they can have meals that they normally, if school is out now because of this virus, if we don't feed them, they wouldn't.
Magic. You going all see, that's why we gotta start. We gotta watch these things. I got love and Magic, but they're not gonna have a David Banner on there. They're not gonna have nobody that's really in the street. I'm not saying that Magic is not in the street, but he's not. And he's so far removed from a lot of the day-to-day of what's going on in every native black community in the daily life. It's very hard to be articulate in answering those questions and being very thorough with it because you're so far removed. So it's easy to kind of just go off the data that probably somebody done gave you, but when you're dealing with people who are boots are on the ground, or just people that understand what's going on from a different perspective, they're not gonna have those type of people on CNN.
All day. So we want to continue to feed these young people, and that's what we're doing. So I want to thank my team, but there's a lot of people, the grocery store workers, who are still working to feed all of us, to make sure we have a meal. Also the doctors, nurses, first responders, the police, the fire, all of those people, we want to thank them because they're still working while we're, sitting at home. But last but not least, it's been inequalities and injustice going on for a long time, especially when you think about minorities. And so
you notice he said minorities. He didn't say native black people. He said minorities. According to Dr. Claude Anderson, Black Layer White Wealth, Powernomics, this book always talk about minorities, people of color. Those are broad and ambiguous terms that group us with everyone. Because if they call black people minority, if you're Indian, like Sanjay Gupta, when it suits you, you can say, I'm a minority too. If you are, let's say, Hispanic, which is not a race, you can say, I'm a minority too. And they can get the same type of benefits and shit that you're supposed to get. And then guess what the government says? Well, we gave minorities, over $100 million. And you're like, wait, well, hold on. But 90 million of that shit went to the Hispanic community and the Indians and all this other stuff. Oh, we can't say shit because we gave it to minorities. So y'all need to understand the trickery in the words with minorities, and that's some bullshit. No, nigga, native African American or native black, aboriginal, indigenous to this landmass. Not no goddamn minorities.
Have to change, first of all, in City Hall, on the state level, on the local level, and then at the federal level. And if things don't change there, then nothing's gonna change in urban America. So until somebody says, hey, we're gonna make sure that African Americans and Latinos and others have.
You notice he put Latinos, and no diss to my Latino brothers and sisters, but you know what? It's 10 times harder for us than it would ever be for them. They're just happy to be here. But they also did not build this country. And it's no diss to no Latino. I would love to sit down and we can have a conversation. And if you want to debate, there's no debating. We built this country. It's documented. Sorry. So you shouldn't be getting the same benefits as us. I couldn't go to fucking Mexico and try to get the same benefits as a native Mexican to that landmass. No. And they would never let me disrespect anyone from that landmass of Mexico. So I don't understand, this is the only place in the whole world where we are so afraid to speak for our own people, but we got to include everybody else. And it's like, it's not no diss about not including everybody else, but we got to start carrying our own groceries, our own water, and stop inviting everybody in thinking everybody else going to have our back. Because in the end, every other group is going to do what every other group needs to do for their people.
A level playing field, that the same opportunities that others have, minorities are going to have. Until those things change, we're still going to have a lack of health care. We're still going to be behind the 8 ball when you think about African Americans.
Man, let me cut this music back on. And that's why I do, and I say, and I talk about things, I got love for Magic. Magic, I got love for you, nigga. But you was on some bullshit. Some of the shit I didn't really like was some suspect, funny style, suspect ass shit. You know, and I get it because you're probably not educated, but man, let a motherfucker put a camera in my face. And not on no shit, but sit me down. I'm not gonna be all ignorant or ghetto, but I'm gonna say native black people have been disenfranchised for the last 450 years. And if they be like, why? Redlining, gentrification, lynching, Jim Crow, segregation, desegregation, all that. There's too many examples and too many books that you can go read to understand why when I see the things and I see the shit happening the way I see it happening, I kind of laugh and I just kind of laugh it off. But we got to start doing a better job of educating ourselves. If you want to say, do better, we got to start educating ourselves. That's the only thing I would say as far as doing better. Educate yourself. Arm yourself with education. And I'm not talking about European education where you go to some bullshit ass, clown ass 2-year or 4-year college and get a European degree, which ain't nothing but a European passport, so you can be reinserted back into the matrix and do what the fuck they tell you and be a conformist. Go along to get along, nigga. Because that's all you're going to be. In the great words of Dame Dash, if you don't own it, you're nothing but a supervisor. You don't own it, it ain't your shit. You can't pass it down to your kids. You can't. Only thing you can do is try to help them get a job there. Ownership. Now is the time to be fucking going and buying stock. Let me tell you something. Look, if you don't think that every other group is paying attention and watching, they are. I had a Latino brother holler at me today, was like, hey man, Warren, I be hearing you talk about that stock and shit. Man, I got that fucking app, the Robinhood app. Hey man, so how do I buy the stock and stuff? See, it's every other group wants to learn, but it's us. You know why? Because niggas look at me and say, oh, that nigga ain't got shit. Why am I listening to him? Nigga, you don't know what the fuck I got going on. But because we look at the exterior frame of someone, and if they ain't got on Gucci or Louis or some Jordans or shit, you just automatically think they ain't got no brain. And they don't know what the fuck is going on. Thank you. You better go look. How many times have you heard me say this, Tommy? Fatburger stock, $2 a share. Now the stock is going up. It's going to go up and go down. Disney stock is at 104. Disney stock went down to $84. It's going to go back down again. But it just was so funny. And shout out to that Latino brother. I got love for my Latino brothers and sisters. Because the ones that are awake and jacked out of the matrix, they not with that racist shit, and they're willing to learn from whoever. Whoever gonna put them on the game, that's who they gonna learn from. And don't think for a second, like, hey man, show me how you be doing that, because I want to start getting this shit down too. But it's our people. Our people look at you. You don't know how many people I done told, excluding my family, just regular black people I done told, you think they done listen to me and went and got started? They look at me like I'm fucking crazy. And it's so hard because with our people, we only exalt and praise people that have material. He could be the most intelligent person, very well read, got knowledge, can tell you what they need to do and live a real regular life. We don't acknowledge that. Oh yeah, Maxi Pass too. Yeah, you right. All that shit gonna be on the stock. All you gotta do is go look up who the maker is, look behind it, look at who the maker is. Nigga, what you brush your teeth with is on the stock market. If you use Sensodyne, that's GlaxoSmithKline. That shit is $30-something a share. Facts. Colgate. All that shit is on the stock market. But it's so hard because when you're dealing with your people, that's why they put figureheads like Magic Johnson in front of you, because, oh, well, Magic Johnson got money, so I'm going to listen to him. But that doesn't mean that Magic Johnson probably had, hey, what's going on, Shawnee? Magic Johnson probably had good people around him to kind of educate him. And I don't think Magic Johnson is dumb. I think he's very intelligent. But as far as articulating a message that it could trickle down to the masses of Native Black people, no, that's the wrong person to get up there. You know, you got so many other people that could be doing the message spreading. That's why each one got to teach one. That's why I found it interesting to have that Latino brother come up to me. Real cool brother. Very cool. Not no messy, none of that. Hey, man, show me about that stock, man. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll show you. Because I'm not no hater. And I'm not with that. I want to be around anybody that want to learn and want to grow. And let me tell you, Native Black people, we do want to grow. They out there. You just got to magnetize those type of people. Because a lot of people ain't gonna be on that. Some people, go buy the rims, go buy all that. But let me tell you something. Unless you want to work until you're 90, because that's where we're headed, this is why the economy goes up and it goes down. The next thing, the housing market is gonna crash. So all you people that think that buying a house was never in your sight, now get your credit popping. Get your FHA loan. I think it's like 650 or 688 FICO score to qualify to get you a crib. Then 3.5% down or some shit. But we don't want to educate each other because we want to be the only one with a crib. You want to be the only one with the nice car and all that. See, I'm older. That shit stopped impressing me 10 years ago. You know, it just took a little time. And as, you know, the first year out of 10, I was still kind of like materialistic. The second year, as I'm struggling, I'm like, not so much. The third year, I was like, I'm just gonna drink this beer, try to fuck some bitches and chill and kick it. By the fourth year, I was like, all right, this some bullshit. By the fifth year, that's when I was like, okay, I need to start making a change. By the sixth year, that's when I was really trying to make a change and what do I need to do different, but it was very difficult. By the, I would say by the seventh by the seventh year, that's when I kind of was like, all right, I not only have to go out of my way to try to make this change, I need to start educating myself. And then by the 8th, 9th year, that's when I started reading, doing stuff, doing the things that is necessary. So I say about the 7th year, out of the last 10 years, I would say like the 6th year, I started to self-arm myself with education. It's very important. That's why right now, go buy you some weed stock. If you watch the big three, YCMB or whatever that stock is, it's a weed company, they sponsor the big three. I bought their stock. That stock's like 80 cents a share. You can buy a share a day. You can buy 10 shares, 20 shares. It's 80 goddamn cents. But it's so hard dealing with our people because we base knowledge off of material gains. And I get that because you feel like, well, he's got to be smart. He's got all these materials. But a lot of people that got a lot of materials, they're empty on the inside. And I don't want that around me. I want a person that has some type of substance and not, I don't get into the art of just being around a whole bunch of people that got materials, because that doesn't mean that, because they have a whole bunch of materials and they could be working a 9-to-5 job at the corporate plantation just like you, and they could be a go along to get along motherfucker, so they get all this money, so they can have all this material and have you thinking, oh, well, that's the way you're supposed to be. But you are a conformist. And in the great words of Neely Fuller Jr., you are a prisoner of war. Man, I'm telling you, man, we got to start doing it, man. That's why I'm formulating my plan. I look at my vision board. You know, often I just look at it and see where I'm at inside the vision board and where I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, you know, certain things is coming along, and it is difficult when you work at the corporate plantation. And right now, it's probably super difficult for small businesses unless you're e-commerce, internet, and I know it probably slowed down for a lot of people because people are not working. Let me tell you, the economy, the elites that are in power, they know what the fuck they doing. Thank you. They know what they doing. That's why, as I'm watching a lot of people bounce, rock, and roller skate and act like this shit is not about to flip upside down, if I were you and I'm still able to work at the corporate plantation, whatever money you get, besides paying your bills, you better invest. You better fucking invest, because you're going to be regretting it when you ain't. And when that shit comes, that's why the stock is so cheap. That's why everything is so cheap. And you're like, well, what about you, Warren? Nigga, I invest. So I always tell you about Fatburger. I tell you about the cheap stock because, goddamn, most native black people think investing in the stock market, you got to have thousands of fucking dollars. You don't have that. If that's the case, then my black ass wouldn't be doing it because I ain't got no motherfucking $5,000, no $1,000, nigga. But I think people have this misnomer because of the false narrative that's been put out, and because most native black people, and not just most people, period, they're very intimidated about shit they don't know, and we become very insecure about shit we don't know. I know, I used to be that way too. Fuck stock. That's white people shit. They just gambling and all this other shit. Then one day I heard a person by the name of Dr. Boyce Watkins, Think Like a Millionaire. Oh, and by the way, this is gonna really bake your noodle. As the Latino brothers asked me about stock, and I told them, yeah, man, I've listened to Dr. Boyce Watkins. He said, yeah, I know who he is. He wrote a book called Think Like a Millionaire. And this is a Latino brother. So I'm like, see, motherfuckers is listening to what we saying. It's just we don't listen to what we're saying. That's the problem. And niggas can't pay their bills. And that's why it's kind of shutting everything down. So I would say that I think it's very imperative that whatever bread you get, you better start investing it as much as you can. And I'm not saying go take all your goddamn paycheck, whatever money, little money you got left, I don't care if it's $20. Take that $20 and go buy $20 worth of stock. Nigga, you're buying $20 worth of weed anyway. Most niggas is taking $40 and spending $25 of that on some weed, and the other $15 they buying condoms and some fucking Snickers and Twix and chips and shit. Buying them a little spread and setup. So after they fuck a bitch, they got some shit to snack on. And smoke a little joint after that and fuck the bitch. I know what niggas is doing. So I don't understand why niggas can't take that same $40 and be like, look, instead of doing that, I'm investing in stock. But I know it is because other niggas will make you feel bad for doing it. Oh man, why you doing that, nigga? You ain't gonna get rich off no stock, nigga. Who is you? Bake your noodle. I'm crying. Hey, man, that's real. Motherfuckers don't get it. Just like right now, the distraction is so tough. Lori Loughlin is damn near about to get off because I guess the prosecution for the FBI was withholding information and I guess coerced a motherfucker to lie. Let's play this shit and see what they say. Let's see if it play. Because you know sometimes you try to play videos. Let's see.
Tonight, actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, back in court. Loughlin's sober demeanor walking into the courthouse is a stark contrast from her last trip to Boston in April when she signed autographs and posed for pictures, and waved to fans smiling as she walked into court. The hearing addressing conflict of interest concerns. Loughlin and her husband have attorneys from the same firm. Potential problem if there was ever a conflict between the two. Also, their defense firm represented USC, the victim of the alleged fraud in a separate real estate case.
You see that? You see how they do it? See, they stay on code.
And another firm represents a separate defendant in the college admission scam. Both told the judge they understand the risks involved with their arrangement and wanted to move forward with the same legal team. Lachlan and her husband have pleaded not guilty to fraud and money laundering charges. Each charge carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in prison. The couple is accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their daughters, Isabella and Olivia Jade, into USC as crew recruits, despite the government's allegation that neither had ever been involved in rowing. Their parents allegedly provided photos to the school of their daughters on a rowing machine.
These parents are a catalog of wealth and privilege.
Yes, they are a catalog of wealth and privilege. And Becky's husband is Massimo, the nigga that's in Target and all that shit.
More than 30 parents were charged in the scheme run by Rick Singer, a college admissions prep company CEO, and his phony charity. Singer has pleaded guilty and has been cooperating. 15 have pleaded guilty in exchange for leniency, including actress Felicity Huffman, who said in a statement she took full responsibility for her actions, writing, "My desire to help my daughter is no excuse."
Bitch, what? You cheated. All these dominant society people cheated. So all you black people out there that's busting your ass to try to get into a European college, the person you sit next to that's European, they probably cheated to get their ass up in there. If you're not winning, that means you're not cheating. Facts.
To break the law or engage in dishonesty. Huffman will be sentenced next month.
This is a case where they flaunted their wealth, sparing no expense, to cheat the system so they could set their children up for success with the best education money could buy, literally.
The charges have already inflicted a professional cost on Lachlan. No longer has shows on Netflix or the Hallmark Channel, and brands like Sephora and Hewlett-Packard have distanced themselves from daughter Olivia Jade, a social media influencer who posted this after being accepted into USC.
I don't know how much of school I'm going to attend. I want the experience of like game days,
I don't know how much school I'm going to attend. And this is the USC. This is what people fight to get into. And these motherfucking dominant society motherfuckers, Aunt Becky is cheating. That bitch should go to jail.
I don't really care about school.
After the scandal broke, a friend told CNN
You see what the bitch said? I don't even care about school.
and she was barely speaking to her parents. But she broke her silence on Instagram after 5 months, wishing her mother a happy birthday.
Man, let me cut this music back on. I'm telling you, motherfuckers, that's why I be looking at motherfuckers and I'm quick to really look at a motherfucker upside their head when they be like, yeah, I went to such and such college. I don't give a fuck what college you went to. The next dominant society motherfucker cheated to get there anyway. So while you up here bragging and boasting about some bullshit European college passport that you gonna get, that's all that's gonna happen. So you can be integrated reinserted back into the matrix to be a slave because you're not running shit. That shit don't impress me. My motherfuckers be thinking that it do. A lot of the reasons why I think we act like that is, I think a lot of the reasons why we act like this is because we're not socially engineered to have self-worth, intrinsic value, and to get knowledge of self. We're not socially engineered that way. We're socially engineered to go to, Jesus said it, Cesare Borgia and the bullshit. And then when you question somebody, they're like, why he look like that? Oh, well, God sees no color. That's bullshit. If he don't see no color, then why the fuck he look like that? But we don't even want to dig deep. The Rockefeller Foundation is behind most of the 501c3s. That's why most churches won't talk about politics, won't talk about the real shit, and won't really, really unplug you to all the fuckery. They're not gonna do that. What'd you say? They knew about this for a long time. They pissed somebody off and now they're in the hot seat. Guilty, nigga. That's a fact. That's why I be laughing, man. That's why I'm like, don't let these motherfuckers push you to go get testing and all that. And they got magic on there and all that. Nah, man, fuck all that. And imagine you know what the fuck he was talking about at the time. And you talk about all these employees that you got to pay, and I got, like I said, I got love for Magic, but goddamn, they got the wrong motherfucker on there. Come on, man. Then they trying to use this fear tactic to talk about, oh, well, Native African Americans are getting it at a higher rate because of, we don't have health care. Nigga, y'all the reason we ain't got no health care. Y'all know what the fuck going on. Look, if the dominant society is responsible for 500 years of free black labor, why are we even sitting up here entertaining anything that these motherfuckers say? If the CDC is telling niggas that wear a mask all of a sudden right now, in my personal opinion, but motherfuckers been getting cases since last year of this coronavirus, and you got Bill Gates running pandemic drills and shit, and then all of a sudden we asking him, this nigga builds computers. Why the fuck is we asking this nigga what to do in the pandemic, and this nigga builds hard drives and computers? You're a coder, so get your bitch ass back there and get the code. And if you're not code, then get your clown ass off of TV and go live your life. Oh, well, we need to shut it down on other shit. The first question somebody should ask, well, why are we asking you? What do you have to do with this? Most Native black people don't even know who Mansa Musa is. The wealthiest Native black in the world. The richest. And nobody can come close to that. What's that website you just put in there? Because I'm about to look it up. I'm about to look it up while we talking right now. Let me see. Washington Post. Washington Post. /techno. Cause I'm about to look at this shit. Let me see. Smartphone data reveals which Americans are social distancing and not. Ooh, shit. Hey, good looking out. Putting that in there. Look at the link. They keep track of all this shit so they can send a fake cure exactly. Hey, for all y'all if you just listening to this right now, I'm looking in the chat room. I'm talking to the homie, Shawnee, and my cousin Tamisha. And in the chat room, Shawnee just posted this link. And in the link, it says, smartphone data reveal which Americans are social distancing and not. That's crazy. If you have a smartphone, you are probably contributing to a mass coronavirus surveillance system, and it's revealing where Americans have and haven't been practicing social distancing. On Tuesday, a company called Unicast that collects and analyzes phone GPS, the dominant society, location data launched a social distancing scoreboard that grades county by county which residents are changing their behaviors and urging the health officials. It uses the reduction in the total distance we travel as a rough index for whether we're staying put at home. Here, let's see what they're saying. Let's see what Donald Trump's saying. Hold on, I want to see what he's saying.
That if we do a really good job, we'll not only hold the death down to a level that is much lower than the other way, had we not done a good job. But people are talking about July, August, something like that. So it could be right in that period of time where it washes through.
The guidelines are a 15-day trial guideline to be reconsidered.
Wow.
It isn't that these guidelines are now going to be in effect.
So now they're talking about July? Man, nigga, get the fuck out of here, man. These motherfuckers have lost their mind.
Until July. What the president was saying is that the trajectory of the outbreak may go till then. Make sure we don't think that these are solid in stone till July.
Well, my administration is recommending that all Americans, including the young and healthy, work to engage in schooling from home when possible, avoid gathering in groups of more than 10 people, avoid discretionary travel, and avoid eating and drinking at bars, restaurants.
Wow. That was Trump. I don't know if that was new or that was old. But beyond that, that's crazy. Good looking on that information. Oh, I know they was. They tracking everything. Look, let me tell you something. It's a book I want to get. Eric Snowden. I think it's a book that Eric Snowden wrote. And he basically was just breaking down all the fuckery shit that the dominant society be doing. He was a whistleblower. He's the real hero. That's the type of motherfucking dominant society motherfuckers you need to be around. Motherfuckers that's gonna get that information and give it to the people. That's like, hey, this what the fuck they really doing. Instead of getting your little fucking butter biscuit and shit and being happy with your life. But he saw all the fuckery. Like, damn, they fucking people over, spying and watching people and looking at people fuck and that. I know they are. That's a fact. If they can tell who's not distancing themselves, why do the Census Bureau need us to turn in an account? Hey, that Census Bureau, you can kiss my ass. Fuck y'all motherfuckers at the Census Bureau. Like in the wash. For the census in the hood. The Census Bureau. And you see what happened when that nigga said Census Bureau. Nigga, hang up the phone. And then DJ Pooh was like, well, and that nigga pulled out that burner, was like, nigga, you heard what he said? And that's how you gotta do, motherfuckers. Hey, we ain't fucking with no Census Bureau, man. Fuck out of here. And it just happens. Let me tell you something. You know why it comes every 10 years? Because the economy just happens to go up and down every 10 years. Because 10 years, March, was the last time the economy was at its fucking lowest, and I got a census fucking shit in the goddamn mail. So you don't think that's tracking along with the economy? They want to know who the fuck is there and how many motherfuckers, in my personal opinion, they want to eliminate. That's a fact. Y'all could think it's sweet, but it ain't. So why niggas up here fighting and arguing, doing clown-ass TikTok videos, all this bullshit? Nigga, you can go ahead and do that shit if you want to. But for all you motherfuckers that can go ahead and go work you a fucking corn plantation job right now, CVS is hiring, Albertsons is hiring, Smith is hiring. Y'all niggas better not be sitting around stressing out. If you really need money, you can go get it. Now, if you don't really need the money, you gonna chill at the crib, cool. But don't be complaining about the shit, because everybody has that option. We all have a choice as far as right now. Smith is hiring on the spot, and it is fucked up because you don't want to get this shit, but what you gonna do? Because, nigga, if you think that the government gonna come through with these clown-ass stimulus checks, by the time you get them shits, you're gonna be 2-3 months behind. Facts. Don't think this shit ain't no ploy. Man, I didn't grow to this, and I'm not new to this shit. I know what the fuck is going on, man. Born at night, not last night, clowns. Understand what's going on. You got Lori Loughlin with her husband paying for a motherfucker to get in school, then your daughter on Instagram talking about, I don't even want to go to school. That type of shit. Because if you're not cheating, you're not winning. And let me tell you something, them putting that shit out there that native black people are getting the virus and all that shit because we got high blood pressure and all that, yeah, you right about that. But if niggas do what they need to do and go get the type of shit like the sea moss, elderberry tea, anise tea, chamomile tea, all the next, look, if I eat something that's got high, something in sodium, I drink that goddamn chamomile tea, shit. Drink some moringa tea in the morning time, drink some sour sop tea. You better go get that shit. You better go to fucking Sprouts. I don't want to hear no nigga talking about he ain't got no money to go get no herbs and spices and shit, and the nigga got Gucci on and Jordans and shit. I don't want to hear that shit. You pay for what's important to you. People make time for the things that are important for them. I like making time for reading. And the book that I'm currently reading right now is The Hagiography in Times of the Merovingians, which is the Frankish Rule. Very, very good book. Oh man, like I said last night on the podcast, them motherfuckers doing some cold, crooked bullshit. And the hagiographers, these are basically the people that they tell the story about the saints. So basically, they kind of like that's like a motherfucking biographer following you around, or a motherfucking you dictate notes to a motherfucker, and that's what they were. But they basically lying and shit too, because they got motherfuckers that's fact checking the hagiographers and shit. So that's what it is. You can look it up. You can Google this shit too. I don't want you to just take my word for it. And I'm not trying to talk like I'm smart or no shit like that. I'm still learning. Every day is a school day. But if you don't believe me, go look it up. Look up hagiographer. And it'll tell you that's the study of the saints. Because that's what the Merovingian was. It was Frankish aristocracy, basically another word for a saint or Frankish aristocracy, basically a Merovingian. And the reason why I'm reading that book, because eventually when they open up these goddamn theaters, The Matrix 4 is coming out. And I want to know why they would have the Merovingian in that movie. So that's why I'm reading about the Merovingians. Put more books in the drop disruption. I can order and level up on my reading during this shit. Oh, you talk about on the thing? I know, I got it. Here, I'm going to put it on there. I'm putting it on there. I think it's Mera, I got to look up there. Look, I'm going to spell it wrong. Merovingians. If I'm not mistaken, I got to look it up. Remind me next time, or I got to get the book. It's in my backpack somewhere so I can get it. I'll just keep repeating them. Like Behold the Pale Horse, Tamisha was putting me up on that book, but what happened was Tamisha kept talking about it. Then I watched the podcast with Professor Griff, and he did a whole podcast breakdown on Behold the Pale Horse. I'm like, damn, this the book she talking about. I got to go get that fucking book. Then after that, Tamisha, let me tell you, I forgot to tell you after that, I'm watching Drink Champs with CeeLo Green, and then he said Busta Rhymes put him onto the book. So I said, I have to go get this book. There's too many instances of me watching people that's talking about this book. So I went and got that book. So Behold the Pale Horse, very, very good book. I'll tell you another book so you can see what's going on right now. The Matrix of Power by Jordan Maxwell. Go get this book, y'all. The Secrets of World Control. It's not even a long book. Look, it's a thin book. Every book ain't got to be 1,000 pages. Don't let niggas fool you. Nigga be thinking, try to talk shit to you because you read books that's only 150 pages or 200. That's a book, you still read it. It's about retaining the knowledge and ascertaining what they talking about. I don't care how many books you read. I got to go back and reread books because it is very hard. Reflex memory is very hard to ascertain the knowledge when you're reading a lot of books. So you got to slow down and take the notes. But The Matrix of Power, very, very good book. Talks about a lot of shit. He talks about religion. He talks about, he talks about the symbols, the shell symbol, where they got these symbols from, all this shit, man. The 5-pointed star, where it came from, all this shit. ExxonMobil, the cross. Oh man, this dude is dope. Jordan Maxwell is dope, man. Go get these books, man. These are very, very good books. You need to read. But I'll tell you, man, hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening and subscribing. God damn, I've been on here a minute. But I had to do a back-to-back. Hey, thank you for that post that you put in there about that site. Because I know that that's what's going on. You know I'm going to tell you another good book? I think you read it, though, Shawnee. Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. Go read, get that book. Now, I think it's about 500 pages, but it's an excellent book. A very good read. I'm talking about the books that stand out to me is like Medical Apartheid, of course, Black Labor, White Wealth. I say the ISIS Papers by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. That's a very good book. The New Jim Crow. These are just books that stand out to me. But one of the books that's cold, Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. That's a very, very good book. Some of the shit they was doing there was god awful to our people. I'm talking about, I think that's where they got the movie Hostel from that book. Some of the shit. That's a very good book. The Burglary, it's a good read. It tells you about real dominant society people that saw the injustices that were being done to black people and they did something about it. So that's a very good book. That's why I always talk about that shit. Because they risked their lives. They could have went to jail for a long time for that. But they got away with that shit. And it really put black people on the game about what was going on. The Assassination of Fred Hampton, that's a very good book. Let's see. Man, I'm telling you, Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, that was a very good book. Because, Dracula was raised by Moors. See, they like to take Muslims in that time period. They like to take Muslims in that time period and try to, I would say, align them with European Muslims. And you know what I mean? And no, nigga, Muslims were still dark, still black. Yeah, Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. Matter of fact, I think I gotta go check my cart on Amazon because I think they just got some more Credo Mutwa books. He just passed away. He's like a shaman. But yeah, go check out Medical Apartheid. That's a good book too. The Vlad the Impaler book was a great book too. Very, very good book. But I'll say that Before the Mayflower, that's a good book. When I read Before the Mayflower, that's how I learned about Queen Nzinga. And that made me go get Queen Nzinga's book. I haven't read it yet, but that made me go get that book. Yeah. Go check out Before the Mayflower. And of course, I don't know where the book is, but In the Matter of Color, I know you already read that book, Shawnee. Go check that book out, In the Matter of Color. Let me tell you another book too. I'm sorry, I can do this all day, but another book that kind of stuck out is Old Time Religion by Paul Tice and Jordan Maxwell. Kind of breaks down religions and the wording in it and how the word is, like the words that they were using in the Bible was basically like numerology and all about astrology. Yeah, so that's a very good book too. Okay, yeah, you got the ISIS papers? Yeah, go check out Medical Apartheid. Check out The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander and Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGroot. That's a good book too. I gotta reread that book too. That's a very good book. The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. That's a very good book. That's a very, very good book. The Law of Magnetism by Yogananda Para-Yogananda. I forgot the last name. I let somebody borrow that book. They never gave me the fucking book back. So I'll never do that shit again. The Powers of Your Subconscious Mind. That's a good book. But as far as like our stuff, The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, very good book. Matter of fact, I would suggest that most Native Black people go read How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, especially right now during this coronavirus epidemic, because the food and shit that he's talking about eating, that's what got your shit fucked up. Hey man, but I'm telling you, go check out these books. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. I'm your boy Warren G. The place to be, been Clown Sucker Free since 2003. This is the No I Don't Know TV series. Shout out to Nuke. Hey man, trust me, I correspond with Nuke a lot. Nuke is very busy, and just send your prayers and thoughts out to her, man. She's dealing with a whole lot right now. So send your prayers and thoughts out. Good vibes to Nuke. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Hey, I'm gonna try to get on here tomorrow and end the week. I appreciate y'all listening, subscribing. Like I said, hit the like button. But hey, send this to anybody that you know that's on the same vibe as us. If they not on the same vibe, please don't send it to them, because I don't want them taking down my stream like they did the last time. I appreciate everybody listening, man. I'm out. Peace.